Hello, God bless. Lee Rice here in the portal of prayer on Realtà Domenica, Reality Sunday, as a witness to the continuing sad dead walk in the calmest possible way of the Agrigento zombie apocalypse, zombie survival game. I'll just give a quick breakdown of what's happened today, which is the same kind of scenario pretty much every day. So I sat at the gateway to reality where I've written at least one album in that position. I'm not saying this about me at all. I'm saying this for the sake of everyone who's had to suffer the incredible sadness of what the adult society have become. Then I sat with Andrea Camilleri. Some people came along to take some pictures of themselves in the portal of insanity that way. That's the portal of Maria, where I've written many songs there too. This is the portal of prayer, for obvious reasons, the praying statue there. I've already shared many videos about what happens in this section, where somehow they can see the statue and do the symbol of the cross, but fail to recognize any type of music or art or any compassion for anything that's taking place directly next to the statue, including homeless pregnant sister Tina, who sat right next to me with my musical partners, Thierry and Reno, GFE Ultra, the Alien Brothers, and somehow failed to recognize any of the music or art that was taking place right next to a statue. Exactly the same next to Andrea Camilleri ever since I arrived, where the vast majority will come along. If they're Italian, they'll know his name. And the same scenario happened again today. A French group came along. I could see they could see. And they were, who is he? Who is he? Who is he? Who is he? And I told him, oh, his name's in the ground. And then they come along and they walk through the city. Last night was Saturday night, which is the same scenario every Saturday night. They come along, drink their plastic, and destroy the city. Complete destruction of the city. Plastic shit everywhere. By the time it gets to 2 a.m., which is the time I stayed here with Alex last night, right there where my backpack is, then by that time the city's destroyed. So, there's a rule on the Saturday night where when you go to the supermarket, the mini market, to buy the beer has to be put inside the plastic. A couple of hours later, every Saturday is exactly the same. The entire city is completely destroyed with plastic shit everywhere. They put it all inside the plants. In every one you can see, all around. They chuck all their plastic shit and their cigarette ends and everything they can possibly do to avoid putting their trash in the correct position. I call them plastic zombies and trash zombies, which is what they are. Ahead of the narcissist zombies, which are remarkably ugly, who can only see themselves. And then they move through the city. They move through the city like this, with their heads either in the clouds like this. Oh, what's that? 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 What's that? If they're not doing that, this is what they do next. They walk through the city. They see the writer, artist, poet, musician, or homeless pregnant sister Tina, who sat with me right there. And then their eyes do exactly this. They look directly down to the ground. Exactly the same process that they've been doing for thousands of days from my own eyes. At least since I wrote Zombies Don't Feel Pain in Luxembourg City 9.5 years ago. And that's how long I've watched them doing exactly the same stuff. They come along, they're walking through the city. Oh wait, there's some music, there's some art. Why didn't I stop for 5 seconds? No. Check the ground, keep walking. Check the ground, keep walking. This is a social experiment I did quite some time ago. The details are right there. I shared many videos about that. The Eat Your Screen Challenge, Mangiala tua sfido solo schermo challenge. And then when I placed ketchup, Napoli, where my favourite recording of Zombies Don't Feel Pain is, all of a sudden, Freddie, tribute to Freddie Mercury coming soon, all of a sudden, they started to notice the sign. Just when I placed ketchup next to it, when they could see the ketchup, they're like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? And then some came along and understood what it meant. And they're like, ha, 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 I see. Oh, the Eat Your Screen Challenge. And that's where they are, the vast majority of the moving adults. It's improved in Agrigento a lot. But the vast majority of moving adults through the city ultimately Tony the Maestro, great guitarist, 51 years he's been playing Cinquanta Uno Anni. He came to join me again tonight. He drives me absolutely fucking crazy, and this is why. He comes along, plays a little, and then just spends the whole time at his screen. I told him to leave, as I got Alex and other friends to translate to him that I don't want someone while I'm teaching the children walking past, sitting in their screen directly next to me. I'm using it now wisely to share positive messages of change. And Tony comes along and he spent 2 hours tonight, 2 hours, great guitarist, 2 hours sitting next to me. I told him to leave twice. Asked him to watch my stuff while I went for a beer. Thankfully not on credit. Nearly every day I'm having to take credit just to take a little bit of a drink, a refreshing, not strong drink. And I just told him to leave, like great guitarist or not. He comes along, checking Facebook, checking this, checking that, and spends his whole time, even while I'm playing or the music's on the Bluetooth speaker like it is now, just spending his whole, he puts headphones in, sitting right next to me with his headphones in, checking everything about what he wants to say. Check that. I don't do that. I check what I've got to check. I've run out of data now in the zombie sadness, which is the truth, la verita, about what's taking place in Agrigento. The vast majority of the moving adults through Agrigento wouldn't stop and offer 5 cents or 10 cents or have 5 seconds if they were paid to. They ultimately don't have the ability to. They don't have compassion. I know many good people, in a positive to not sound negative, many good people. Friends of mine brought me a delicious pasta meal today. I'm not saying this in a negative way at all. I know many good people in Agrigento, and when I leave, it's going to be very hard for me to leave because of the friendships that I've got here. I know many good people. I can walk and take a beer on credit. I can take a cafe for free, even a couple of cafes for free each day. There's a place to get free food nearly every day. Now I've got another situation because my mattress is not good in cold conditions. Last night was really cold and the night before, well, by here standards, and the cold is coming up from the ground. And, well, I'm going to make myself very ill if I don't solve this situation very, very quickly. Everything else is resolved with help from friends whose names I won't mention. New backpack, replacement shoes, guitar case, the microphone replacement after accidentally throwing my own microphones in the trash, like in stress and tiredness, and all of the situations are resolved. I needed a microphone stand and my brother Thierry, one of my musical partners, helped with that. Thank you so much, brother. I mentioned your name gladly. Other friends, I won't mention names just in case they won't, but I'll say that there's some people out there, I will mention a name, Sally, who's supported me so many times in a crisis situation, where here I sit as a writer of 25 years, 25 anni, teaching their children and grandchildren for God, the children, and our one and only home, on repeat, even in their language, and the vast majority ultimately refuse to even acknowledge that's taking place. As I've said on many other videos, I don't say what I say for the sake of myself at all. I say what I say for the sake of every single person I've met in my journey, writers, artists, poets, musicians, homeless brothers and sisters, begging brothers and sisters that have had to suffer their zombie sadness, which has already taken place from my own eyes for at least 3,300 days, 3,300 journey, since I saw the start of the zombie apocalypse. I'm not the only one who saw it. Many writers, artists, poets, musicians have spoken about it, and they still continue like this, in a loop of complete insanity. They reject music. I can play on the Bluetooth speaker. The Bluetooth speaker's made more than me playing, in all honesty, it really has. I sit here and think, well, why should I play? They fail to recognize originality. Another street artist comes along, I don't say this out of jealousy, he's really talented, really good artist, he's playing good cover songs. Then they'll recognize it through a speaker. Oh, it's something I know, it's something I know, something I know. In the city tributed to the writers, Luigi Pirandello and Andrea Camilleri, they fail to recognize originality, even with the information clearly displayed in very big writing. They might look across for a second, then they'll check the terreno ground and keep walking. And this is exactly what I've witnessed with every single artist and every single human of sanity that I've met since I've been in Agrigento for 1.5 years. I'm ready to leave. It'll be hard for me not to come back because of everything I've written here and all of my friends. But well, this is what's going on. They move through the city, they see the writer, they hear, oh, what's this? And then they just keep walking. Oh, look, there's a writer, artist, poet, musician. Oh, look, there's a homeless pregnant lady. No, not interested. They're not interested in compassion, and they're not interested in music or art. They specifically choose, exactly the same path they've been on for thousands of days. Instead of recognizing the music or art with a token of, let's just say, like I've shared on other videos, 10 cents, the etchy centesimi of appreciation, they choose instead to check the ground. Their eyes do exactly this. Down to the ground, keep walking. 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 What are they doing? Like I wrote in France, saving their money for their shuttle to Mars. What is 10 cents? In the alternative reality, like I shared, in their alternative reality, like I shared from Jefferlu, they'd offered the etchy centesimi 10 cents to a writer, artist, poet, musician. An example of that today is this. Just one example of many that I've witnessed for many, many years. Out of the hundreds of adults that move through this city today, I wouldn't be sitting here now, and neither would Tony the Maestro or Alex or Angelo or Lucas the harp player with €1 in 12 hours on the streets. Okay, I've taken a couple of beers, just about. A couple of beers. I got free small beers for free and food for free. And nearly every day since I've been here, except for a few where my friends support me, they'd leave a writer, artist, poet, musician without enough even for a bottle of water. 99% of the adult society, some people like my friend Alex has said they don't have money. Do you have 10 cents? Do you have 10 cents of appreciation for music or art? Well, no. Well, they'll go into the tobacco and buy some scratch cards. In all of the tobaccos, €5 scratch cards, and sit there doing their scratch cards, but they don't have 10 cents of appreciation for a musician, poet, artist or writer, a guitarist of 52 years, an artist, a writer, a homeless pregnant lady, a begging lady with a child. No, not interested. And this shit has been going on from my own eyes for more than 3,000 days. Like Alexandria and Arles, where I wrote 28 songs. And she walked around the square crying. I wrote 2 songs for her. A homeless lady, and Is There Any Wonder Why She Cries? I don't even play them, because the sadness of that is this. That's from more than 3 years ago. Dragon in Split. Homeless brother with the brightest eyes, while I sat with him writing and playing in Split, which I'm hopefully going to go back to late next year. And exactly the same scenario. They look like, oh, you're a piece of shit. Keep walking. Don't have 5 cents. Don't have 5 cents. Don't have 5 cents. Piece of shit. Piece of shit. And this is exactly the same shit that's been going on with every single homeless brother or sister I've met in my entire journey. For thousands of days. I sit with the writer, artist, poet, musician, many different types of musicians, every single level you can possibly imagine. Cello players, pianists, opera singers, violin players, guitarists of every single level. Another good example, in Set, where I wrote 38 songs. 38 songs, I hear the story, oh, he's a clown, he's a clown, he's a clown. Well, if that's true, how did I write 38 songs about you? 38 songs without you realizing, while they sat in a circle around the fountain, checking this, right next to my position while I'm writing about them. Camp of the Fury, 19 songs, while they crossed the square, stuck in their screens, looking for their next updates, looking for this, with an inability, checking this, the poster behind me, Geordie Restaurant there, Camp of the Fury, checking that what's right there behind, and failing to recognise any type of music or art that's taking place from 1 single metre away. Jefferlu, reading the words on the church directly behind the writer, artist, poet, musician, and homeless begging brother that sat next to me, checking the words without making eye contact whatsoever with the writer, artist, poet, musician, walking inside the church, walking outside the church, doing the symbol of the cross, with an inability to recognise books, inability to read text of artists' details, or anything at all. Oh, there's a statue. Oh, I can see that. Oh, look, there's another chance for me to update myself. Oh, look, there's another chance for me to update myself. 5 meters later, oh, look, there's another chance for me to update myself. and they ultimately cannot see, hear or feel anything at all from that distance away maximum. And this is exactly what they've been doing for thousands and thousands of days. Back to set, I met one lady who said this. When I said to her, I was like, they've been like this for like 8 years, she said, no, 20 years. And this is exactly the fucking madness that's going on in society, in a remarkably stone cold, selfish adult society. Stone cold. They prefer, their preference is right there. That's their preference, the ground. Down, down, down. They walk past, eyes down. Walk past, eyes down. Walk past, eyes down. If their eyes aren't going down that way, they'll specifically look in the other direction, avoiding all contact, Elvis in the ghetto. What? For the sake of 10 cents? And this is the shit that's going on in reality, not for one day, for thousands of days. So I sit here a little longer tonight. I wanted to make a short video. As you can see, I've got a lot to say. And once again, last night, I sat here with Alex from Ukraine. We played and we just want 50 cents. And we're even standing up and saying to the people, we just want 50 cents so we can take a beer each as brothers. And someone then would come over, hey, guys, we're just looking for 50 cents. We're just looking for 50 cents. And they just keep walking. Alex asked 6 different people, do you have a cigarette? They all said, last one. Oh, it's the last one. So now I'm listening to a playlist I created. My details are clearly displayed. Plus my musical partners, Jeffrey Ultra and the Alien Brothers. And the vast majority wouldn't notice if Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson and Jim Morrison, example, were sitting here together right now. They do exactly the same. Walk along. Eyes to the ground, look the other way. Eyes to the ground, look away. Eyes to the ground, look away. Oh, what's that? There's some music. Oh no 5 seconds for that. Gato reality. They can clearly see, hear and feel that I'm visibly teaching their children, their bambinis, as I've done for more than 500 days in Agrigento. They clearly know that I'm doing that, and they still reject it in their ultimate, in the calmest possible way, in their ultimate selfishness, in the adult society specifically. When I arrived in Agrigento, at the gateway to reality, which I called the portal of energy, the teenagers, nearly all of the teenagers moving through that section were in their screens. Nearly every single one was moving through the city in their screens and nowhere else. And I can let you know some good news at the end of this video. They woke up. They realized they're walking past zombies. The children, I'm using a technique from a song I wrote called space vision, spatio vision. And the children, the bambinis, they get it. And the adults do exactly this. Check the ground. They don't even recognize that music or art is taking place. Their hearts are frozen and unbelievably cold. In the calmest way, again, I'm saying what I'm saying for the sake of everyone who's had to suffer, the unbelievably selfish adult society who have lost all ability to recognize or appreciate music or art and all compassion too. And somehow, at exactly the same time, are claiming to be believers. Luigi Pirandello, their very own writer in Guerra, check on Wiki, says exactly the same. Loss of reality, society, war, loss of reality, società, hypocrisy. And that's what I see every day. They're not just hypocrisy, grande hypocrisy. How somehow they can recognize a statue and fail to recognize any type of music or art whatsoever from this distance away. Friends of reality, ciao ciao, spaccio vision, shakalakis. Not live, no. Say hello. Shakalakis. Sì, TikTok later, poco tempo. Sì, you see on TikTok in poco tempo. Chakalakas, spaccio vision, chakalakas. And the children get it, and the teenagers get it in Agrigento. And the vast majority of adult society They move through the city in a stone cold dead walk with an inability to even recognise any type of music or art taking place whatsoever. God bless.